There we go. So, good morning and welcome to the Mindfulness Tree Meditation Community as we begin with a new book, the Dalai Lama's Big Book of Happiness. And so, we're going to start with meditation, and he talks about the different types of meditation of Samatha and Vipassana. And what we're going to do is the Samantha, which is more of the in the Mahayana school, where we're trying to focus our attention on the breath in a way that we're fostering concentration. So I invite you to listen to the bell. Listen, listen. The sound of the bell calls us back to our true home. The sound of the bell is a reminder to come to awareness, to mindfulness. And so, even as the singing bowl faded away, there was still that little bit of sound calling to us. And so, with the sound of the bell, we were reminded to settle and to arrive at our true home, which is being present in this very moment. And so, calling upon the five senses, the sensory consciousness. In this present moment, we experience the sense of touch as the body in the seated position makes contact with the floor and with the seat. We engage hearing and just noticing any ambient noise that might be occurring in your space or not. And so, remembering that the sense of hearing alerts us to changes in our environment. A loud noise, when it stops, we're aware of it. And then the sense of seeing, perhaps just opening the eyes to a soft gaze and noticing the environment that you're in or the screen. And noticing the sense of smell. If there's been coffee brewing, perhaps that you can sense that. And again, how the sense of smell alerts us to understand our environment, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. And just noticing what is present in the sensory realm. And perhaps even the sensory realm of taste, if you're sipping a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or have a snack available. And again, with these sensory experiences, they can be pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. But they give us valuable information about our environment and our world. And so being fully present in our bodies, I invite you to take 3 deep breaths, inhaling, filling the lungs, and exhaling, allowing the body to settle and to relax into calmness. Perhaps on the inhale, the shoulders go up a bit, but on the exhale, they drop down, settling the body. And into this fully embodied awareness, we notice that the body is breathing, that the ability for our body to respirate and continually cleanse and replenish our circulatory system. We experience the inhale and the exhale. And in the tradition of Samatha meditation, we engage the 6th sense, and that is the mind, mental consciousness. And so in this tradition, we either count the breaths or simply notice the in and the out using words like, I am aware I am breathing in. I am aware I am breathing out. And oftentimes in this tradition, the teacher will instruct a counting of the breaths. And so if you haven't tried this before, you can just be with this for a bit, either counting to 10 and then going backwards down to 1, or any number that seems to be appropriate. And if you lose track of the counting, just simply begin again. And that is the mental consciousness noticing that you have lost count. And as you focus on the breath, there are a number of other things that you can do to keep track of it. One is to use mala beads, and on the inhale and exhale, one bead. On the next inhale and exhale, another bead. And just allowing that to arise naturally. Or if you don't have beads, you could simply touch the fingers to the thumb of the right hand on each breath. And on the left hand, repeat it. So you have 8 using the body with that small movement. And this practice of focusing on the breath is a training for the mind. It builds concentration. And remembering that concentration isn't a forced thing, but rather it's a lightly touching the present moment with mental awareness. And so in closing this time, instead of a poem, I'd like to say just a few words about the sound of the bell when we invite the bell. In the Buddhist tradition, the inviting of the bell symbolizes the Buddha's voice. And so when the bell is invited, we listen to that. It also signifies the attainment of wisdom and enlightenment, but also understanding the empty nature of all things. And each time we hear the sound of the bell, it brings us to the present moment, whether it's the singing bowl or a ding on our phone. We can allow that to be a tool for building our awareness. Sound also purifies the atmosphere. It invites peace and harmony, especially into sacred spaces. Sound has the power for spiritual transformation and can actually cleanse negative energy. The sound of the bell is a boundary of sorts between the mundane and the holy. the sacred. And it represents unity and harmony. And so it's much more than merely sound and using that sensory ability. And so now, as we end, listen to the invitation of the bell. So thank you for your practice today and for your presence.